Hello and welcome to this Leo-inspired tarot reading for June 2025. This is a reading that I am doing working with the symbolism of the tarot cards and the symbolism of Western astrology. I am not doing forecasts, I'm not doing predictions, I'm not doing any of fortune telling. I am merely just digging into some layers of consciousness maybe, or finding new perspectives on a situation with the help of the symbolism of the cards and astrology. So we will look at a general energy in the beginning of the reading. Second part of the reading, we look at a relationship dynamic, and I'm happy you're here with me. And of course, you can watch this also after the live. So let's see what's coming up for Leo identifying people. Leo identifying people. I just made that up a couple of weeks ago, and I like it because I'm not an astrologer, you know, and I'm just really fascinated by the symbolism of it, and that's what I work with. And I used to be into it a little bit, but right now I'm just like happy with working with all these beautiful symbols and energies and suggestions. So yeah, Leo, let's see. Ace of Cups. Wow. Ace of Cups, that's very powerful. A new cycle of experiencing your emotional richness, I want to say. With the Ace of Cups, we really do have an opportunity for love, but it doesn't have to be, you know, necessarily another person, although it could be, of course. It's more about how can we find the love within ourselves and understand that it's an endless source, and we connect to this light, very beautiful source that is deeper than the card, as you can see here. So this beam of light goes through this cup, through the card, through the lotus, deep down in an infinite, into an infinite, what is it called in English? Dwell, is that the word? I hope you, maybe somebody can help me in the comments. There is an infinite amount of love that you can tap into right now. That's what I want to say. And you might want to start experiencing the world a little differently. Maybe you're falling in love with yourself. Maybe you're falling in love with the world. Maybe you're falling in love with a person. Even though with the Ace of Cups, we're not so much in the connection with the person yet. We're just like finding a love within for some outside influences to share. So we have a lot to give as well, and we have a lot to give in different directions, and we have a different experience of fullness and richness of life, and we can really grab deep into ourselves to get that out of us. So this is a new beginning, this is a new start, this is a new opportunity that we can really grab by the handle, quite literally here, and we can experience life in a much more loving way, and it's a door opening. We can feel like there is a change. So this is very beautiful, of course, Ace of Cups, a lot of creative energy, a lot of heart energy. It is heart energy mostly, and a lot of also musical energy I see with the cups. We do have the Hermit, but he wants to come kind of underneath the Ace of Cups, even though I wouldn't want to, I didn't want to do that type of reading, but it is what it is. So the Hermit, he is really the guy who finds the light within himself, and I think this is what's happening right now, and he does understand how to find the full potential, full creative potential within himself, maybe by isolating a little bit, or maybe by really, it doesn't have to be like necessarily that we, you know, hide in a room and don't see anybody, but it's more like coming back to yourself, coming back to your own wisdom, coming back to your own way, not really thinking too much about what other people say or how other people react, or not necessarily being too influenced by the outside world. We find our own path, our own way within ourselves. It's a very creative path. So with the Hermit, we're in a very, very creative energy. If we want to work on projects, if we want to work on solo projects, if we want to work on things that we just do for ourselves, also for our own pleasure, because the Hermit really likes what he's doing. He likes his way. And he doesn't need anybody to tell him otherwise. So he has a lot of wisdom within himself. And when we find that inspiration and that source of love and heart energy that we can tap into, we can really do great things with the Hermit as well when we are working creatively. So for me, he's kind of always an artist card in a sense that we can be very productive with the Hermit because he's very productive. He has a lot of potential. He's a card of potential, of life potential. We see that with the yoni egg here and with the snake, with the sperm that is coming up here. And he also understands how to handle the three-headed hellhound. So he understands how to really keep in check of his shadow side, of his darker world. He understands how to guard that and not fall into that. And he has his lantern here in his hand that is shining the way forward. His head is bowed down because he is really looking at the steps in front of him and not so, it's more like the way is the goal. I'm not sure if you say that in English. In German we say the way is the goal, but I'm sure there is an English saying as well for that. So it's like the path is more important, the process is more important than the outcome. So yeah, you can really indulge in a process right now, I feel like, within yourself, finding all this love within. It's a little bit of a soul-searching card, but not... the Hermit energy is still earth energy. We're still very grounded. We're not like in outer space. We're still very much present in the now, step by step, very connected to the earth, to the ground. The Aeon, yeah, I mean, there seems to be a moment of decision making that is inspired by a higher power. The Aeon card is the New Age card. It is calling in a new age. It is also hearing a calling, seeing a calling, stepping into a calling, making a decision to really step into this next level of life. This is shortly before the gateway. This is when we stand before the gateway and we can already see this new consciousness building and we can already feel what's coming, and we feel a calling into a direction that is really a new book in our life, a new story, not only a new chapter, but really a completely new age. So in Egyptian mythology, this would be, you know, the Horus age, which is the child of Isis and Osiris. It is, of course, much deeper than that, but it is a new consciousness. It is a new Holy Spirit, we would say in the Christian church, that is really initiating a new time quality. It's a very beautiful card. Wow. Seems like you've learned a lot here also for some reason. With the Hermit, we have a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge that we can work with. That's, in this case, I think, coming from the heart. Three of Wands and the Five of Swords. Okay. With the Three of Swords, my go-to quote is do the right thing. You know, with the Three of Swords, we have a vision in front of us. It's a card of virtue, and we are stepping more and more into our power to actually do what's right. It's not only gaining the dominion of the moment, which would be the Two of Wands. It is also doing the right thing and making the right decisions. So the path in front of us is really opening up and we can start seeing where we're going. Because as I said, the Hermit is like one step after the other, working with this inner wisdom. And here we get a little more momentum with the Three of Wands, where we're really stepping more and more into where we see the results also. We see the way opening. We're like, oh, this feels right. This is where it's going. I see the vision. I see it clearly now and I really want to go. And you get a lot of inspiration once you're at this point, because you're like, you get confirmation, I'm doing the right thing, and things are opening up more and more. They're feeling right. At the same time, we do have the Five of Swords here that tells us we might have to really be a little more black and white with certain decisions. or also cut parts of ourselves. And I like to say with the Five of Swords, it's not so much about the outside conflict, it's much more about the inner conflict, because most of the time some people in the outside, they just reflect what's going on the inside. So we do want to think about how we cut things within our own personality and psyche out in a little harsher way, where there is no more compromise, where there is like some parts need to be defeated, some parts need to win, and some parts need to be defeated. And even though we might leave behind some damage, in a sense that some things cannot come with us, or cannot survive with us, or cannot walk with us, and it might reflect on the outside, of course. Maybe when we are taking decisions that are, we are in a new path here, and we are in a new spiritual path as well. And we're really coming into a new age as well. So of course, people will be irritated, you know, people will be maybe not getting it. People will maybe not be seeing it, but this is a card where we have all the arguments in case people really do want to challenge us on our way, that we can defeat them as well. And that might be sometimes a little nasty, but nasty business, but sometimes we have to do what we have to do to really continue on our true path. And I'm not talking to psychopathic serial killers, if you know what I mean. It's like, I'm talking, of course, to people who come from a place of love and devotion and wisdom and humanity. All right. So relationships. Please like, subscribe, comment. Thanks for being here, and please check out the description box for all the information that you need, because I'm doing a bunch of stuff in my life, and maybe you're interested. So relationships. This doesn't have to be romantic, but it can be romantic, of course. So I'm talking an other person and you, but it could be multiple people, or, you know, whoever. Maybe not pets. I don't read for pets. In case they come up specifically, I might, but... All right, this other person. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Huh. Somebody is having a hard time working with you for some reason, or doesn't want to work with you. Is it a work relationship maybe? Maybe you're having trouble with work relationships. And that could be maybe having to do with your new path. With the Three of Pentacles, sometimes it could be that, you know, somebody has a lot of responsibilities, or they're having a hard time juggling their responsibilities, or they're having a hard time taking accountability, or not necessarily accountability, responsibility. It's maybe they're just overwhelmed, or they don't know how to work with you, or they have a lot of things to juggle. Of course, worst case is often that there is other people involved, or there is just, it doesn't have to be necessarily a betrayal or a third party, but you know, they just have to juggle a lot of stuff. And it's kind of hard to work with you for them. Eight of Cups. And maybe you're feeling like you want to walk away from these type of situations. Maybe in general, you know, maybe you want to walk away from these type of situations where people don't want to work with you, where it's just too hard to work together with people, where it's too much of a challenge, where you can tell like they have a hard time taking on more responsibilities. And this is keeping us stuck in a way, but we know it could be better. So this doesn't have to be walking away from a person. It can just also be a moment where you realize, all right, if somebody is making this difficult or impossible, I get drained even though I really want to make this work, but I cannot do this alone. And this is really emotionally draining. As I said, this doesn't mean it's never going to work, but right now it's just a realization, like how do we deal with that situation when somebody's just having a hard time putting the work in. And you know, there can be so many reasons for that. We are not demonizing. Four of Swords. Yeah, somebody needs rest also. Maybe somebody is just very, very busy. And because with the Four of Swords, we really need rest, recuperation, maybe some, you know, laid back time, and we need to clear our minds. Somebody might have a lot on their mind and might have to clear their mind, and they might just need a little time, because the Four of Swords is really in combination with the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. It's really not such a bad card, because it says like, okay, somebody is not just being an asshole. It's okay, somebody needs rest and they just don't have the energy maybe right now. They maybe don't have the mental energy, or it's challenging and they have to just retreat and let things calm down and get a little clearer in how they feel and how they think, mostly because the Four of Swords is more about thinking, and they just need some rest. Yeah, it's probably frustrating. It's probably keeping you in with the Eight of Cups, we can feel like in a little bit of a swamp or a hangover, or like we cannot kind of move out of some emotional thing that is on one hand very full, but at the same time kind of heavy. So it's an uncomfortable card. Two of Wands. Oh, well, that's a good card though. And the Six of Wands. That's an even better card. So this seems like, first of all, we don't have any major arcana here. So this is something we can really get a hold of and really take into our own hands, because often with the major arcana, we have a hard time to really have control over a situation. We kind of have to let the universe step in. But with the Two of Wands, we can get a handle of the situation. And it's just about, I think with the Two of Wands here in particular, it's just about taking action in the sense that we do what we can to get a hold of this situation. You know, it could be more about really looking at what a person is doing, not so much what they're saying or not saying. This could be more about actions. So we might want to just look at the actions of a person and not so much about what they're saying, but still a person might just be tired. But it seems like we can really get a hold of the situation where we just practice, because the Two of Wands is also getting dominion over a situation. I mentioned it before when we had the Three of Wands, where I said the Two of Wands would be just like do the thing, you know, in the moment, get control of the moment, and the Three of Wands would be like do the right thing. So this is really practicing getting the hold of the moment. So I feel like there is a chance that you can get a hold of this moment, and there is a really big chance actually, because there's a Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands is a card of success and it's a card of victory. So with the right attitude, this is not a big deal to overcome. You know, it's like Eight of Cups, Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Everybody is tired sometimes. Everybody feels sluggish. Everybody feels emotionally overwhelmed. It's like this is something that we can handle with the right attitude. This is a lot about attitude. And the Six of Wands is my attitude card. It's like you have to have the right attitude to approach a situation. If you think it's not going to work, it's not going to work. If you think it's going to work, chances are it will. So it can be a little bit of a slow month, and figuring out how to handle a situation with a person. But it is still positive with the Six of Wands. So I like that. All right. And in this Two of Wands in particular, it's beautiful. There's these hearts on the card, so it's just beautiful illustration. So one oracle card. Creativity. What did I say? I cannot make this up, you guys. Creativity. Yeah, tap into your creativity with the Hermit for sure. Especially if it's hard to work with other people right now, or if people are just tired or cannot take on more projects or whatever. It's maybe good to work on your own stuff. So it says draw or paint or think and act in a creative way. So creativity is key, always, in my opinion. And yeah, still beautiful reading, Leo. I really love it. And I hope you are having a great time in June, and I hope you're coming back. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, comment. Please check out my description box and check out all the stuff that is there because it's good. Okay, so see you next time. Bye.